And we're live. Please go on.
Yes, good afternoon, everybody. Could you confirm if you can hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Yes, welcome to today's session of Techpadi Africa's Breaking into Tech series. Today, we will be talking on the topic harnessing your soft skills. So last week, we had a session last week around this time, last week between 3 and 5 p.m., which is going to be our regular for the next couple of weeks. So last week we talked about technical writing, and today it is harnessing your soft skills. So to start with, what are soft skills? Soft skills are they are basically skills that are not technical. So they are non-technical skills. They are skills that are more useful in our interpersonal life, in our interrelationship with other people. So that is what soft skills are about. So that is basically what today's session will be about, and how you can improve your personal life and your career life with these skills. So without further ado, let's get into the lesson. So what are the things we will be doing today? Please go with me. Yes, today we'll be talking about the this that you can see on your screen. This is what the lesson will cover today. We'll talk about the introduction to soft skills, and under that we'll talk about the importance and definition of soft skills. Then we are going to put soft skills and hard skills side by side to know how they relate, or how they differ. Okay, then we'll also talk about different types of soft skills, the communication skills, talk about emotional intelligence, talk about the leadership skills, teamwork and collaboration, talk about problem solving and critical thinking skills. And then to wrap it all up, we will talk about how you can work on these skills and how you can develop these skills. So we'll open up with this quote by someone that is unknown, which this person will be known. It says, technical skills are the foundation of your profession, but your soft skills will set you apart. Technical skills are the foundation of your profession, but your soft skills will set you apart. As we proceed in this session, we'll find out how this quote relates and how it what it says about soft skills. So this is the outline of everything we're going to be doing today. And at the end of this session, we're expecting that you will be able to tell us what soft skills are, understand the importance of soft skills in your place of work and also in relating with people around. Then you'll be able to access your soft skills and identify where you need improvement and where you need to fine-tune your skills. And then you'll be able to understand the right way, the right use for the different soft skills. So to start with soft skills, they are basically the abilities that relate to how we work and relate with other people, basically social skills, interpersonal skills, the skills that you use to relate with other people, those non-technical skills. For example, when you meet someone on the street, how you relate with that person, you don't use your medical degree or your whatever degree you have from the university, you don't use that to relate to that person. You use soft skill, okay? Like your communication, you communicate with the person the way you know how to communicate. So these are some of the things that soft skills entails. And also they are important job-related skills that involves little or no interaction with machines, and whose application on the job is quite generalized. Now, the application or the importance of soft skills can never be overemphasized, because we use them even subconsciously, sometimes without even thinking about soft skills. We apply them in our day-to-day activities. So moving on, yes, I mentioned hard skills the other time, or technical skills. Now let's see how soft skills differentiate from hard skills. Now, hard skills, they are job specific. It means these are the skills that you require to do your work. Like when you're employed into a particular organization, you need these skills. They employ you because of these hard skills, like your ability to do some work, your ability to, like as a doctor now, your ability to listen to the patient and diagnose a patient's condition, your ability to market a product, or for a bartender now, the ability to, well, to tend the bar, the ability to mix drinks, driving skills, all of these IT skills, you know, these are what count as hard skills. They are technical skills, hands-on skills that you go to school 4, 6, 7, 8 years to learn how to. These are your hard skills. While soft skills, they are those traits that will make you will make your stay in an organization as long as you want. Okay, you know, no matter how good someone is, no matter how good one's technical skill is, you need interpersonal skills. You need these soft skills. These are basic etiquette. You need them to keep you within that organization. Okay, your ability to collaborate with people, your ability to solve problems, communicate, listen effectively, communicate your intention to people. These are the soft skills that you need, and these are some of the things that we will be talking about in today's session. These are just a few of some of the importance of soft skills in our daily lives. They indicate how long you stay in an organization. I mean, if you're skilled and you are unruly in communication, I mean, nobody wants to stay long with an unruly fellow. So your soft skill now, the communication skill now, will ensure that you stay as long as you want. And they help us to measure teamwork, ability to collaborate with people, then to maintain relationship with colleagues and clients. So yes, you need, of course, you need to relate to people. If you're running a business, you need to be able to communicate with people, push your services, you know. These require soft skills. And then soft skills, they help you to grow your network. Well, that can be said too much. It helps you to grow your network, and it helps you to stay organized. It helps to gain confidence and to establish your reputation. Okay, so starting off, we will be taking our start from communication skill. That's like the first, it's like the screen people meet the first time they encounter you. Okay, it is what the way you relate to people. So we'll start from there. So communication skill. Now this involves the ability to communicate, relate your thoughts well. Okay, knowing what to speak, how to speak, when to say it, how to structure words together. All of these things, they amount to communication skills. And we will be talking about two aspects of communication skills, the verbal communication and the non-verbal communication. So speaking about verbal communication, it involves the use of speech, your words, spoken words, right? Now, verbal communication, spoken words, you can say the words or you can write the words down. They all come from your mind, okay? But we will be focusing more on the spoken communication. Okay, the technical writing part dwells more on the written communication, which we did last week. So today's session, we're talking more about the spoken communication. So for the non-verbal communication, we will this covers the parts that you don't say, okay, like your actions, body language, facial expressions, gestures, all of these things. We communicate without saying words sometimes. Like a lot of times we communicate without saying words. People that grew up I'm familiar with Yoruba culture. Our parents, sometimes they relate with us by giving us gestures, facial expressions. Like you would know that what you're about to do is what you shouldn't do. So non-verbal communication cover those gestures. So examples of non-verbal verbal communication, we're taking it from verbal communication. Example of it would be your choice of words. Okay, now taking this into two now, when you want to communicate verbally, communication is a two-way thing. It is, you say things and then you receive communication. You give communication and then you receive. So a two-way thing, or well, it can be a one-way anyway. So when you speak, you are communicating with people, and then you have to develop your active listening skill, which is part of verbal communication. So I want to talk about speaking, okay? Effective speaking. There are things that makes you speak effectively. For example, the way you choose your words, okay? Like you have to know when you are in an official setting or in an informal setting. So your choice of words in these two settings will depend on where you are. Okay, so knowing which words to use in whichever setting you are could go a long way. There are some things that you can say in religious gatherings that you cannot say in a secular gathering. So knowing your environment and knowing how to choose your words, they amount to effective speaking and also delivery. Okay, so when you're about to deliver a speech, say something, the way you deliver it will matter too. That tends to relate more about the tone of your tone when you're making this delivery, when you're speaking. You cannot be passing a solemn speech. Okay, you cannot want to be solemn and be loud. No, they don't go together. You have to observe your environment and then you deliver based on the environment that you are. I mean, you can't be in a loud place and be speaking softly. Okay, so you have to know your environment. And the third one is reinforcement. Reinforcement is it is like when you take cues from people. Okay, sending cues through gestures. Yes, I know I said gesture is part of nonverbal communication, but reinforcement is those gestures that you use while you speak. For example, when you are describing something and you're using your hands to make more emphasis on that description, that is reinforcement. It is different from when you are using your hands to make signal without using words. Okay, so I hope you get the difference between those two. So when you reinforce using verbal communication, you are adding gestures to speech. Okay, so in this case, you are complementing your speech with gestures. Okay, and then the other side of vocal communication, we have the active listening part. Now, this active listening part, it is It is very important because we have a lot of speakers that are terrible listeners. Okay, so it is not only, like I said earlier, communication is a two-way thing. You have to be able to pass your part of the communication and also receive from others. So if you dwell more on just giving and giving and giving, it will be a one-way communication, just like listening to the radio where you can't communicate. Okay, so you have to be able to listen as well, and you don't just listen to look for error. You have to listen with an open mind. Okay, so you keep an open mind when you listen, so that you don't miss the point. A lot of people miss the point in conversations. So we have to keep an open mind so that we don't miss the point. Then you have to avoid concentrating on certain aspects. You know, if you've been online on Twitter, for example, now, and you've been in situations where there are heated arguments, you know, lots of people will just read a whole thread and just pick one point from it and then dwell on that. Forgetting that this is not a situation where you can take a part and use it to represent a whole. No, you have to understand the context, okay, not just a single part of it. So you avoid concentrating on certain aspects exclusively, and you have to keep distraction to a minimum. Yeah, it is very easy to lose distraction, okay, but you have to be able to keep it to a minimum. Okay, we'll still talk about that later. So how to improve vocal communication. So one of them is to ask questions. Just for clarity, for the sake of clarity, you have to ask questions. If there seems to be a part where you're missing out or you don't understand the point, ask questions. Okay, question is like a verbal reinforcement. Okay, there's the verbal reinforcement. So ask questions, and then you can use the reinforcement part that we talked about earlier, just to further emphasize or further dwell on your point. Use gestures. You don't just stand like what do we call it, like a statue, and just talk like that. No, that will be quite robotic. It's quite mechanical. As humans, we are not machines. Okay, so we're expected to express ourselves as much as we can. So we use reinforcements to further emphasize our speech or our communication. Then check for clarification using any of the means highlighted earlier, asking questions, etc., and then summarize the main point. Okay, you have to be able to summarize the points. Now, the ability to create a summary of your whole point, it shows that you know what you're talking about. Okay, it's not just pouring everything into everything and then expect that everything will just go like that. Okay, you don't expect people to just take all the bogus information and just let it flow like that. You have to be able to summarize your points. Okay, so yes, that part. Then moving on from that, tips to improve your verbal communication. Okay, this is similar to what we've talked about here. Be observant, remain calm, you empathize, and then you're clear and concise. Okay, you observe what you're doing, observe what the person you're communicating with, observe the person's movement. For example, if you are talking to someone and the person's expression shows like the person is not interested, I mean, you have to be able to interpret people's reaction so that you can know what's next to do. Then you remain calm. Okay, you have to remain very calm so that you don't miss the point. Of course, you have to remain very calm. Then yes, you empathize. Empathy is you putting yourself in someone's shoes. Okay, trying to understand the way someone is feeling. Okay, so for you to understand this, you have to For you to understand people's feelings, you have to observe. Okay, you have to observe the person and really watch the person. Okay, and it takes calmness to do these things. Okay, without overflogging verbal communication, let's move on to non-verbal communication. Now, non-verbal communication, it is like verbal communication, but instead of using words, use body language, use gestures, expressions, all of these things. So that's non-verbal. Now, there's not a lot of attribute to non-verbal, not a lot of exercises to non-verbal communication. Okay, but one important thing is that you have to know how to read when someone is communicating non-verbally. Okay, you have to be able to know what someone's body language is saying so that you don't miss out on what the person is passing to you. I mean, this is one of the things that we taught ourselves informally in secondary school, you know, knowing how to, when someone likes you. So you don't walk up and start asking someone that despises you, start asking the person to borrow you a pen or all of those things. So you have to be able to read the room. Yes, basically reading the room. So we have a list of the types of nonverbal communication, which includes body language, and this is like the way someone positions their body, okay, depending on the situation and the environment and how they're feeling. So you have to, the body language is one of the ways you communicate non-verbally, okay? So yourself to your body language when someone is communicating with you, your body language will tell if you're interested in that communication or not. Then movements. Okay, the way you move your arms, your legs, such as walking quickly or slowly, standing, sitting, sometimes fidgeting. Okay, all of these convey different messages to onlookers. For example, sitting still and paying attention in a meeting. Okay, when you sit still and just pay attention in a meeting, this conveys respect and attention. Okay, so body movements. Okay, then your posture. Your posture, it's also a non-verbal communication. So you sit, you stand, or even sometimes if some people slouch, okay, slouching in a chair, it's a type of communication. Okay, your posture will tell the person you're communicating with of your interest in the communication. So someone might slouch their shoulder if they feel tired, frustrated, or disappointed. Okay, so this tells a lot. Okay, then moving on to gestures. Now, gestures vary. Okay, it varies widely across different communities, and they are generally used both intentionally and unintentionally. So one's background will tell which gesture is which. Then we have the space. Now, the space, now this is something that we might not observe a lot if we don't pay attention to it. But now when the distance between yourself and the people around you can also convey a message about your comfort. Okay, so if you are comfortable with someone and you are having a conversation with the person, the distance between you two will differ from someone that you are not comfortable with. So these are non-verbal communication. So when you are communicating with someone and the person always keeps at a distance, so that might tell you something. So you're putting in your observant wings will now tell you if the person is interested or not. Okay, then we have paralanguage. So paralanguage, it's like a non-language element of speech, such as the speed at which you talk, the pitch. So pitch, and people, when they're really excited, their speech is high. They use this high pitch to talk, especially ladies. I mean, you'll see this in movies. For example, you notice that when ladies are excited, or if you happen to to relate with lots of ladies that are quite expressive. Now, when they are really excited, you notice that there's this highness in their pitch. Okay, then intonation, volume, and all of those things, they amount to paralanguage. Then facial expression. Okay, yeah, so one of the most common forms of nonverbal communication is facial expression. Okay, like raising your eyebrows, the shape of your mouth, you know, all those facial muscles, they convey a certain type of emotion. Okay, so someone might raise their eyebrows and even open their eyes widely if they feel surprised. That's a way of communicating non-verbally. Someone doesn't have to tell you that, I'm surprised. No, but their facial expression can tell you that they're actually surprised. Then eye contact. Okay, this is strategically using eye content or lack of eye, strategically using eye contact. Okay, or lack of it will tell you, it will communicate something to you. And then touch. Well, a lot of people, well, let me not say a lot, some people are quite touchy. Okay, they're quite touchy that when they talk, their hands are all over you, and some are not so touchy. So while this might not be a particularly certain way of expressing its communication, it might be important to observe these too. But of course, while you're doing this touching, try not to take the music more than the rate so that you don't get accused of sexual harassment, because this is prominent in the society too. So with the touch, please take caution so you don't get to where you shouldn't get to. So how to read nonverbal cues? You observe your postures, you use your arms and your legs, and then facial expression. Okay, away from communication, let's see what else we have. So emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence. So what is emotional intelligence? This is a part of our personality that enables us to manage our emotions, navigate a relationship effectively, and make good decisions. And it's very critical to interpersonal relationship and vital in the workplace. Okay, so emotional intelligence, some relate it with EQ. Well, this is EI, some relate it with EQ, which is emotional quotient, a kind of a way of measuring one's emotional
Hi, Jide. Are you still with us? Just trying to bring this to your attention, but we can't hear you anymore.
Hello, are you with me?
Yeah, we can hear you now. We lost you there for a couple of minutes.
Oh, I had no idea.
Okay, we can hear you now. So you could pick it up back from emotional intelligence.
Okay, great.
And we can't see your screen any longer. If just to bring that to your attention as well.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
All right. Yes, emotional intelligence. Now you can see my screen now, right?
Yes.
Okay, great. So we talked about the 4 levels of emotional intelligence, and then the characteristics of an emotionally intelligent person.
which are something that I would like us to really observe in our different places of employment, or in whichever place we might find ourselves. So people that are emotionally intelligent, they tend to make better decisions. They are really good friends, okay, because they are empathetic. So they tend to solve problems easily because they pay attention to details. And then emotionally intelligent people they are cool even when they are under pressure. They are cool. And then, like I said, they're empathetic towards their workers. And then they resolve conflicts easily, and they respond well to criticism. So these are some of the characteristics of an emotionally intelligent person. So how do we develop emotional intelligence? So one of the ways that we can develop emotional intelligence is through self-awareness. Okay, you are aware of your actions. You want to do something, so you evaluate your actions. You don't just do things without remorse. Okay, you don't just do things without thinking about it. So you evaluate your action. You rate your emotions, whether appropriate emotions or inappropriate emotions. But in this case, you can't rate emotions as positive or negative. Yes, like for example, here now, anger might be but we generally see anger as a negative emotion. Okay, but in some situations, anger can be quite reasonable. Okay, it can be a reasonable reaction to something. However, the second point now, that is self-regulation, will now tell us if that anger, if we've had enough dose of that anger. So that second part now, self-regulation, is when you're aware of your emotion and you're able to regulate your emotions. So this is one soft skill that is very important, because we relate with different people, and a lot of people will just get on our nerves. People will do different things. I mean, we are from different backgrounds. So people tend to do things that sometimes we don't agree with each other. So our ability to regulate our response to this action, that is the self-regulation part of emotional intelligence. And then there is the motivation. Motivation is what drives you. What drives you to do something? Is it because of praises or because of reward? Okay, is it because of praises or reward, or is it because you just feel like you need to do that thing? Perhaps because of passion, because you have passion for something. So, when you are developing your emotional intelligence, you have to know the reason why you are doing that. Are you doing that because you want people to give you good feedback, or you just want to? So this will tell you. It will tell you which path you are. And of course, that self-awareness part and the self-regulation part will tell you if you're doing the right thing or if you are on a total wrong path. Okay, before we move on to the next part of this session, I would encourage us to take a bit after this session to think about what we can benefit from developing our emotional quotient. Okay, go over this. Can go over this lesson again. It is streaming on YouTube right now, so you can go over it after this session and give yourself some self-awareness. Think about your actions. Okay, try and regulate these actions, the ones that you think they are shooting high. If you try and regulate them and give yourself a pat on the back when you do something that you think is worth of praising. So that's just by the way. We'll move on to the next part of this session, that is leadership. So leadership is an attribute that every employer would want in their employee someone that can take charge, someone that can do things, lead others, someone that can take the bull by the horn. It is one quality that a lot of people crave. Well, yeah, there are some people that just want to be on the behind the backdrops, doing things behind the curtain. Yeah, there are some people like that, but still, employers want people that can lead. Okay, so some of the leadership skills, we have decisiveness. That is the ability to take decisions. Then integrity is one quality that is needed in leaders. Integrity. Then creativity, flexibility, positive attitude, communication, relationship building, dependability, and one important part, ability to pass knowledge through guidance and mentorship. These are very important leadership skills. Then I hope we'll move back at this juncture now. So collaboration, cooperation, and teamwork. These three, they work hand in hand. So that's what we have on the list. So what are teamwork and collaboration skills? The teamwork and collaboration skills are the qualities and abilities that allow you to work well with others. And why are the skills important? Because we don't work alone. Okay, people, those that work remotely, we link up with other people in other places. So we have to be able to work with other people. It is very important to. It's a very important soft skill. You have to be able to work with people without creating friction. And even if there are some period of friction, to be able to douse the tension and just make things work. Okay, using that part of emotional intelligence. So, moving on, examples of teamwork skills, we have responsibility, okay, communication, honesty, active listening, empathy, collaboration, and awareness. Okay. So moving on. How to improve teamwork skills. So while it might take to work and it might take some time and some work. These 4 points might help you to develop your teamwork skills. One of them is giving honest feedback. Okay, mimicking others with strong teamwork skills. You know what mimic is? When we try to be like people that we put in high regard. Just someone that has wonderful teamwork skills. You can try and copy the person, see how the person relates with people, and pick up one or two skills from the person. This really helps teamwork. Then practice. Okay, you set goals and then you practice to achieve those goals. So this will help to improve teamwork skills. Then another very important soft skill is problem solving skill. Problem solving skill, the ability to see a problem and then find solution to. So what are problem solving skills? Simply put, they are skills that help you determine the source of a problem and find an effective solution. Okay, this is something that organizations look forward to, especially organizations that emphasize on leadership. They want someone that is able to create solutions to problems. Okay, so although problem solving is often identified as its own separate skill, it is related to the other skills. For example, active listening. Before you can solve a problem, you have to understand the problem. And you understand problems by, well, listening. Okay, well, listening might not be just listening, might be a form of you learning about the problem. Okay, so when you learn about the problem, that is like the first step to finding a solution to it. Then after learning the problem, you can analyze the problem to see exactly what you can do. Because if you don't understand the problem, you might not be able to find a solution to it. So you learn the problem, you understand the problem, then you research possible ways of solving the problem. Okay, this might include brainstorming with other team members, going out to do researches, reading, all of these things put together. Okay, then decision making. So after you brainstorm them, you have perhaps series of possible solutions, and you decide which solution is the most effective. Okay, and then you choose from it. Okay, so it's a skill. That decision-making part is a skill on its own. Okay, some people find it hard to decide. It even happens doing shopping. See a couple of sneakers, and you're like, how should I go? Should I go for this? Should I go for that? You know, this decision-making is a skill on its own that we have to develop. Okay, so and this decision-making part, it helps when you, for example, if there's a design, there are series of designs for a particular project. So you can't choose all the designs. You have to choose one. Okay, so you have to be able to put on your thinking cap or your decision-making cap now and decide which one is the best fit. And after making that decision, you should be able to communicate the your decision, okay, and the solution to in a way that others can collaborate to solve the problem. Okay, these are different steps. They are steps to solving the problem. Okay, so then focus is important. In all of these steps, focus is important. You can't be trying to solve a problem and then a cat video pops up on the screen and you are distracted. Spend 4 hours watching cat and then video. Okay, you have to focus. Okay, distractions can be anywhere. Can be in maybe the pizza that the team is sharing. Okay, distractions are everywhere. So you have to be able to focus on what is at hand. Then how to improve your problem solving skill. You have to acquire technical knowledge in your field. Now, while this technical knowledge is a hard skill, if you're in a formal environment, you need to you might encounter problems that are more technical. Okay, so you need your technical knowledge to solve this. So what this is saying in NF is that you need to be informed. Okay, you need to be informed about your field. Then you have to seek out opportunity to problem solve, opportunity to solve problems. Okay, you even if you are not at the forefront of solving that problem, you might simulate problems and try and work yourself to solving that problem. Okay, so that relates to third point, which is to do practice problem. Okay, so you create scenarios and try and just solve those problems, and then you observe how other people solve their problem. Okay, so this might sound more like you being an intern to someone, but being an intern is not such a bad thing when you are developing a particular skill. And also, learning is not, it's a non-stop cascade. Okay, it's something that it doesn't stop, it just keeps going. It's like a hydra. You cut one edge, when you overcome one part, it grows two edges in case of that. So or like dominoes. It just kept cascading to when one solves, another one comes. So that's just how life is. Then how can I improve my soft skills? Okay, this shows that gradually we are moving to the end of all of this. So how can I improve my soft skills? Uh, Very important. Practice, practice, practice. Very important. You can't overflow that. You have to practice. You have to practice how to communicate. You have to practice leadership. Okay. Even if you have to simulate situations, you have to practice. Okay. You have to put yourself in situations where your soft skills are needed, and then make use of it. Okay. You can start by using it on people around you, your friends, your colleagues, your relatives. Just try and build your soft skills one bit at a time. Okay. So everywhere and at every opportunity you get, just practice. So you have to take mental notes to improve the soft skills. Okay. Take mental notes. Just keep it at one part of your mind that you want to develop this particular soft skill and then work towards it. Okay. Taking a mental note will serve as a reminder to you. So get out of your comfort zone. We hear that a lot from different podcasts. Get out of the comfort zone. I mean, you've been in that zone and the soft skills you have are not as much as you wanted to do. So you have to get out of it, find challenges that will help you do those soft skills, and just fly with it. Okay? And adapt to workplace changes. Well, there's this saying that change is constant. Okay, so when changes come, just try and adapt to it without losing the good part of yourself. Okay, some changes are targeted at wrecking people. Okay, not wrecking financially, whatever, but might wreck people in it. So try and adapt. Then you observe others, and then you challenge yourself with leadership roles. So this is more like everything we have here. So moving to the concluding part of it, to the conclusion now. If you want to master your soft skills, remember it is an unending learning journey. Okay, learning soft skills, it is never ending. It keeps going. Okay, so you have to continue and don't underestimate the power of video or fun. Some people like sharing that things. Okay, a good way of communication. Okay, so you don't underestimate it, and who knows, you might just get yourself really good at it. Okay, like get really good at it. So practice, 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 and uh, building your soft skills might just come easier than you can expect. Just like saying Legolas shoots the arrow. Those of you that you've seen Lord of the Rings, Legolas is an elf, really good with the arrow. So if you've not seen Lord of the Rings, you might think to see that. And also, you might be able to challenge yourself to if you want to read. You know, people that have strong soft skills, they are able to make things work for them. Okay, so the people that are flexible, they're able to talk their way out into things that they want. So this can also help. So away from this, the conclusion, there is a quote at the end that I'd like to show us. This quote that I want to show us. Yes, soft skills are not a luxury; they are a necessity, and they are key to success in a competitive world. Soft skills are not a luxury; they are a necessity, and they are key. They are the key to success in a competitive world. That is from John James. So that is it for this session of harnessing your soft skills. And I would expect that we have questions. So if there's any questions, I'll be happy to have them. Okay, are there any skills peculiar to some? Are there any soft skills peculiar to some kind of jobs? Basically, uh, jobs require a lot of these skills. Okay, the job require a lot of these skills. So there are soft skills. They are not particular to a particular job. Technical skills, they are particular to jobs, not soft skills. Okay, so you need technical skills for parts for some kinds of job, but soft skills they apply in every situation because they are interpersonal skills. Okay, and not they are not job specific. For jobs, you need the hard skills for those ones. I hope I've been able to answer that question. If there's any other question?
Thank you, Jide, for that answer. I've got a question here.
Okay.
It says, what are the top 3 most important soft skills that one needs to master when looking for a job?
The top 3 most important soft skills.
Soft skills that one has to master while looking for a job.
Okay. While I think all of these soft skills work hand in hand, they work together, I think communication is very important. Okay, communication is very important because the way you relate, it is one of the things that people want to see. As one of the things that people want to read about. So people use your communication to read what you have inside. So communication is very important. That's the verbal and the non-verbal communication. Then emotional intelligence is very important because this is where you empathize with people. This is the part where you are able to put yourself in people's shoes, okay, and make reactions that suits that will you make reactions that would relate to that person. Okay, you know people are different. There are different people that will get related with. So your ability to relate with each person individually, each traits, that is also a superpower when it comes to soft skills. And then teamwork. Teamwork is also very important. Okay, nobody wants an island. There's this saying that is stuck in my head for years now. That is that no one is an island of knowledge. You need to be able to collaborate with people. I mean, if we are supposed to be alone, we won't have 8 billion people on this planet. So there's no way we can avoid relating people, even introverts that just want to be in the out. One way or the other, they are going to relate to people, either physically or virtually. So teamwork, collaboration, they would be my top 3 tips for uh, soft skills.
That's well said. Thank you. Another question here says, how do you measure your soft skills level?
Okay, how do you measure your soft skill level? Okay, under emotional intelligence, we talked about some three uh, three ways, okay, that you can develop emotional intelligence. Okay, those 3 ways you can also relate them with other ones. The first one is self-awareness. You know which of the soft skills you don't have. Okay, you have to be able to understand that part first. Okay, understand and accept that your communication is not what you want it to be, or people complain about how you communicate, or maybe the teamwork is your Achilles heel, or maybe people say you you don't empathize, or you don't have this emotional intelligence, or people say you. I mean, you have to be able to read people, okay, read yourself, and reach a point where you know that these are the soft skills that you lack. So that is where self-awareness comes into play. Okay. Then after That self-awareness, after you are aware of the things or the skills that you lack, then you start working on it. Okay, you start working on those skills. If it is communication, you start building ways that you can improve your communication. Okay, you start knowing how to communicate in a formal setting against an informal setting, how you communicate with people that are not of the same background as you. Okay, how you put diversity into your communication. And if what you realize that you don't have is perhaps leadership skills, you can find someone that you look forward to, a leader that you look at, okay, someone that you look up to, and then study the person and try and mimic those leadership traits that you see in that person. Okay, and if it's another skill that you really want to develop, and you feel that you don't have enough of that skill and you want to improve on it, like teamwork, you can see how people do in teams. Okay, then you pick the traits that you really need and then you develop it. Okay, so self-awareness, okay, then yes, like I said, it is these are the parts where you notice the skills that you don't have enough. There are some that they can, if they can be in excess. So in these situations, you have to learn to regulate them. Okay, I just wanted to keep that in for a bit. So the ones that you don't have, so you work on it. You evaluated yourself and you've seen that you don't have them. Then you know what you want to do about them. Then you practice, practice, practice. You work on developing those skills. So hope that answers.
Yeah, it does. Another thing I want to add is feedback. Of course, you practice, practice, practice. It's also good to ask for feedback, so you would know you're practicing the right thing. Is that right?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
Okay. So I've got a question, another question here, which I totally resonate with. You know, there's a saying that it's hard to teach old dogs new skills. So this question says, is it ever too late to learn soft skills? And I would also add another part to the question as well. So is it too early or too late to get soft skills?
Okay, yeah, I get the second question, but I missed the first one. Could you
Yeah,
say that?
the original question says that, is it too late to get soft skills? So
Okay.
I'm revamping the question to ask if it's too early or too late to get soft skills.
Oh, of course, this is a resounding no, because soft skill, like every other skill, it is never too late to learn. Because I'm going to relate them to other skills, okay, and knowledge. It is never too late to start acquiring knowledge. And soft skill in particular, it is also never too early to start learning and developing one's soft skills, because uh, all of these skills, we've been using them since as far as we started using our minds. Leadership skills, even in primary school, in nursery school, you see that some kids, they tend to be frontliners. Okay, some of them, they learn this trait from their parents. Perhaps their parents are someone that like to take charge, so the child learns that too, and then uses that trait subconsciously without even knowing in their classroom. So that is leadership skill that one would think you have to have grown to a particular stage before you can start uh, aiming at being a leader. Okay, so there is no particular set time that would say that it's too late or too early to learn such skill. So the best time to start is uh, decades ago. The next best time to start is right now. So it's never too late to start learning the soft skill.
Thank you for the beautiful response, Jide. That's all the questions I have here. So checking the chats now. We don't have any other questions as well. Still got like 40 more minutes to the official end of the session. So could you go through a quick summary, not more than 10 minutes, of what we said before? Would that be okay with you?
Yes, that's absolutely fine. So,
All right,
for the past couple of minutes, we're talking about soft skills, which are skills that we use in our day-to-day relationship with people, either professionally or informally. Okay, so we've talked about different types of skills. We talked about the communication skill. We talked about emotional intelligence. Talked about leadership skills, teamwork and collaboration, problem solving and critical thinking skills, and also talk about the ways you can develop soft skills. So under communication skills, we talk about the verbal and non-verbal communication, where under verbal communication, we highlighted the effective listening skill and effective speaking and active listening skill. So under effective uh, speaking, we had the choice of words being an important part of effective speaking. The words you use when you communicate, the words you use in a formal setting, and the words you use in informal settings, how to know which one to use. Okay, and also your delivery, how you relate, how you communicate words. Okay, these are also part of verbal communication as well as reinforcement. That is the use of gesture with verbal communication. So using gesture like I'm gesturing when you speak, an important part of effective speaking skill, which is a part of verbal communication. Then we also talk about non-verbal communication, where we use gestures, we use open use gestures, we use hand movement, we use facial expression, use all of these things to communicate, just like our mothers did while growing up, communicating to us through facial expressions, hand gestures, and all of those ones. So we talked about the active listening part of the lesson, where we focus on the where we focus on the speaker. Okay, how we are able to get information from someone else that is speaking. The concentration part, I will keep an open minded so we don't fall into prejudice. Okay, so that we can get the point someone is making instead of the points that we have in our mind. Okay, so we listen with open mind. Okay, then we avoid concentrating on certain aspects of the person's speech. Okay, so we don't preempt people. We don't just pick parts of what someone is saying. We understand things in context. Okay, we don't extract. We don't. Let's not be a politician in this. Okay, so we pick. We understand things in context, in broad context, see the bigger picture. Okay, and how we keep distraction to a minimum while listening. So these are things that improve our active listening skills. Then we talk about non-verbal communication, the use of gesture and all of those ones. And we listed some examples of non-verbal communication like the use of body language, movement, postures, paralanguage, facial expressions, eye contact, and I also emphasized the part of touch, where I give the advice that, while some people might do some touching while talking, it is important that you don't uh, cross the line of sexual arousal because of touching. Okay, so we have to keep that on the check. And we talk about emotional intelligence, where we highlighted four levels of emotional intelligence: the perceiving emotions part, the reasoning with emotions part, the understanding emotions part, and the part where we manage our emotions. These are steps to developing our emotional intelligence. You have to perceive what someone is feeling or saying. Okay, then we have to evaluate. Okay, evaluate these emotions that's coming from the person. Then we understand the emotion. Okay, that's coming from the person, and then we know how to manage our own response to such emotions. So these are steps to emotional intelligence, levels of emotional intelligence, and ways to develop emotional intelligence, the self-awareness, the the part where you evaluate, the part of the evaluation part, you have the self-regulation, where you know when you are doing too much or too little, and then the motivation, which is the reason behind that action, whether it is for intrinsic motivation or extrinsic motivation. Where the intrinsic motivation has to do with your passion. Are you doing something because you want it because of your love for it, because of your passion? Or are you doing it because you are expecting reward or praises? So you have to be able to know the reason behind an emotion. Then we moved on and talked about leadership. We talked about key leadership skills like decisiveness, integrity, flexibility, relationship building, ability to guide and mentor uh, people around. So then we also add collaboration, cooperation, and teamwork. Okay, collaboration, cooperation, and teamwork. Okay, and we talked about this being the quality that allows you to work well with others. And of course, we emphasize that this is important because we all relate with people. We have relationships with different people, either virtually or in person. So it makes it very important. And some of the skills we need in teamwork are the ability to be responsible, the communication skill, honesty, active listening, empathy, collaboration, awareness. These are things that we need in relating with other members of the team. So we'll talk about how we can improve our teamwork skills. One of them is getting honest feedback, either from a friend or someone in our inner circle that can tell us when we are doing well or not. We need someone that is not scared of breaking our hearts, someone that is not scared of busting our bubble, that can give us honest feedback. So the honesty in the feedback is very important. Then we limit other people with strong teamwork skills. This helps us to develop our own teamwork skills. Then we also set what we want to achieve in a team, the level of teamwork skills that we want to attain. Then also the practice towards these goals. Okay, then problem solving, ability to find solutions to challenges or problems. So problem solving skills that are needed, active listening, that is where we try and where we learn about the problem, then we analyze the problem after we've learned about it, we analyze the problem and try and understand it better. So we do researches, we carry out researches to really understand that problem. Then we carry out researches to see possible solutions to the problem. Then decision making to decide which of the solutions will be the best fit. And then we communicate the solutions to a member of our team. And also, the important part of this is to focus without losing the the main aim of the main problem that we're trying to solve. Then how to improve problem-solving skills, you acquire technical knowledge in your field. Okay, so this is the hard skill, okay, that we're using to improve our soft skill. Hard skill used to improve our soft skill. You seek out opportunity to solve problems. And we practice problem solving, and then we observe how other people solve this problem. So ways you can improve soft skills. Practice the soft skills everywhere, at every opportunity you have, this practice. Then take mental notes of your intention to improve your soft skills, and also get out of your comfort zone and create scenarios, create different ways that you can improve your soft skills. Okay, then you observe others that have the skills that you intend to improve. Then you challenge yourself with different skills. So that's basically a breakdown of everything we have done today. So over to you, Miriam.
Thank you, Jide. Thank you for taking your time to give us this beautiful lecture. And thanks to everybody that joined in as well. In case you missed some part of this session or the session from last week, don't forget that you could always check our YouTube channel for the streamed sessions. That's youtube.com/@Techpadi Africa. If you're not on our email list, you could go to our website, techpadi.africa, and subscribe. So you would be getting updates on our next sessions. So join us next week, same time, as we break down marketing, how to market your tech content with Zikadi. Thanks again, everybody. And just in case you've got questions after later, you could always leave it on the YouTube. You could always leave a message on the YouTube video, and we'll get in touch with you. So thanks, everybody, and catch you same time next week. Bye, everyone.
All right, thank you. Bye. See you next week.